Here on another day of the Gravitational Report. Hopefully everything is okay with you. It took me a while. I had to also meditate a little bit of the report that I'm going to be doing today, because this is a very interesting. Because most of the day we're going to see it only by the end of the day, pretty much. The moon is going to be dropping in conjunction, which is 150 degrees aspect with Saturn. The moon it's in Virgo. This is the intuition, and this is the mom. This is how I build myself. After the energies of Leo, okay, where you build your character, you build this self, okay, the will. How you gonna use it? On what side you're going to be, the positive, the negative, the duality of Virgo is right there. Should I help? If I help, did I actually not helping? Right? This is this energy of realizations and determinations, but the moon is going to be what? She's going to be at 150 degrees with who? With Saturn. Saturn is the karmic ruler, and as Saturn is a karmic ruler, we're going to be reevaluating how do we build our self, because Saturn right now is asking us to review the beginning of the one self, of areas. Where did we got? Where are we? Okay, so this is a these revaluations after you find out what did I did and how wrong things that I did to build my old self, and I have to be aware of according to the law of karma and the consequences of actions, so I can build myself better. So this self-evaluation realizations is going to be so higher and there. Hi, Jared. Thank you for coming in and thank you for saying hi. Hi to you too. So, with that being said, to this, I want to say thank you guys for coming in. Thank you for the clicks, the likes, the shares, the subscribes into there. And with this energies at 7 o'clock in the morning, we're going to see some ascendant is going to be at Virgo. And that is going to be tied up with Pluto, and that transformations and revaluations that we have, it's going to be tied up with Vertex. Vertex is particularly about the open up things, open up opportunities, open up suggestions, open up doors to the things that you thought that were closed. They were never closed. You just decided not to go there, not to go to these doors. Things that maybe happened in the past, right now it's coming up and they are open to you. And now that past in there, it's going to be coming out to you, and in a way this past is going to be right coming up to you in a form of visions, and those visions that's going to be coming into you can be creating either guilt, either shame, or they can create awareness of understanding, and that is all depend to you of your level of belief system and there. All right. So, with that being said, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. The inner work is going to be at Taurus, going to be looking into the shadow. Is going to be looking at what is the opportunities that each want to get there. What is this opportunity is going to build for me? Okay, of course the shadow is always going to be trying to take over, but Mars is looking to the shadow, and Mars is like, where do you think you're going, right? Because this is not the proper way, while Mars is looking for what? Emotions, right? All right, 8 o'clock. The inner work is going to be at Gemini. The ascendant is going to be with the moon at Virgo. Now, these energies of this inconjunct towards Saturn, it's really going to start kicking off within consciousness. You may gonna feel it a little bit like nostalgic, melancholic. You may gonna feel like, well, I missed my opportunity, I missed this, I missed that, and so on. And that energy of the inner work is gonna be actually asking you to look, what choices did you make? You see, Gemini is making a choices. Virgo is making a choices. It's a duality signs. And the choices you make, you have to be okay with it. Because Gemini can be a very friendly the one day, and the next day they're gonna be like zoomed out, and it's like, what happened? They just passed me like a train wreck, right? But when we're talking about the Virgo is like, I have to, what? Use my logic. What I'm gonna do, what is the consequences, and if I don't do, what is the consequences? Maybe I have to look at it even more deep. And this is where the Virgo is really deep thinker, going into the deep. So with that energy of the moon rising up in the event horizon, we all gonna start feeling it, these collective energies. That is going to be reflecting to a certain people. Pay attention to what you have in Virgo. Pay attention to what you have in Aries. Because Saturn in Aries, okay, particularly in there, is I am the priest. I am the wizard. I am Merlin. Okay? So with that being said, the energy overall is going to be some very great things that's going to comes in, but you may also going to be feel like lack of orientation. And that lack of orientation is going to be starting because of the dualities in the next hour. This is going to be at 9 o'clock in the morning. Ascendant is squaring the inner work, Mars and Lilith. The shadow comes over. It's just like, you cannot act in this, you cannot act in like that. It's like, what happened? Either I'm getting a lazy or so on. No, your emotions, okay? For some of the people who are actually evolving, you may gonna find out that the emotions are kind of like a shuts off while you're trusting on the word and the things, sensing. I'm sensing the energies, and then I translate them to the emotions. Some of the people who evolved and already you're working with these senses, you are sensing in there, please double check whatever you're sensing, okay? But this disconnect with in the emotions in there, it's gonna be feeling it within you like you're emotionally withdrawn. You need to learn how to use the both. Even though that the upgrade is to choose the senses, you have to learn the practice of emotions and the senses that comes in, because this is where the awareness is kicking in. Okay, because uniting them both, the awareness it kicks in. All right. Hi Sky, thank you for coming in. All right, next hour we're gonna see some Venus is gonna be the ascendant. This is where you find there is no balance between what you see and what it is within a partnership. Currently ascendant with Venus, it is opposing Neptune, who is retrograde in Aries. What does that mean in the human language in there? Okay. Hi Pants, thank you for coming in. And we're gonna feel this love and the values, a lack of the balance because of the inner work is in Cancer, because of the family, right? But we're gonna feel it like I don't see what I'm doing myself. I don't see how to organize myself. I don't have this balance in there. And all of a sudden it's like, yeah, you cannot control this anymore. you are in the process of revaluations. When you're evaluating, that's mean you're not doing. That doesn't mean doing nothing. You are evaluating. You are not heading forward. You are evaluating where you've been. Okay? And this is where you're gonna feel like the lack of the emotions is gonna comes in, lack of the feelings that it's coming in. But that is about that when you evaluate the stuff, then you're gonna be able to see what adjustments you need to make, what corrections you need to make within yourself. And that's going to bring the love and the values much better. And we're going to see it because right now Venus, it is sextiling Jupiter. That process is about to help you grow. First of all, in personal, but second of all, this is going to be helpful for what? You grow, your partner grow, the relationship grow. What are you bringing into the relationships? What they bringing into the relationship? And all this is going to beginning to get what? The next level of existence. All right, 11 o'clock, the inner work is going to be at Cancer, is going to have no aspect whatsoever about the ascendant. It's going to be opposing Saturn. Limitations. Is your partner limiting things on you? Are you limiting yourself something? Are you withholding things? Are you learning things? Where is the karma in all this? You hide things, they will hide things, right? So this is going to be some little bit more silence and about the certain situations, because what? It's not about the we, it's about the me part. Okay, Saturn is in Aries, me, personal. Talked about it that the personal zodiac signs, they are from Aries to the Virgo included. Libra to Pisces is what I do with others. Okay, and here we're seeing the ascendant that it is at Libra, that is opposing Saturn. You cannot go ahead and tell Merlin, hey, don't do your magic. Well, Merlin is born to be a magician, right? You cannot go ahead and tell the priest, hey, priest, don't love God. He is born to love God. And this is how some people is going to be realizing they got themselves in troubles because they say somebody what they are have to do when they are born to do what they do. The question that is going to be coming in after that, are you do what you're born to do? This is going to be some hitting some people right in the very consciousness. All right, 12 o'clock, the inner work is going to be with Mercury opposing Pluto, squaring Chiron, past unhealed wounds leading to a lack of transformations because of the wounds. But the ascendant, it still is going to be at Libra. It is opposing Chiron. This is where the relationship is like, you know what, if you acting like a child, if you still acting about like, what about me, and so on and so on and so on, where is it, are you prepared for the part as we, right? So fix you to be ready for the we. And this is where the moon at Virgo, because the moon is going to be going into Libra, is looking for it. Because your karma is about the we, right? By you evaluating your own self. Saturn is the karmic ruler. Okay, I'm not repeating this for so many times, but he is ruling the karma. He makes you accountable. And with that energies of accountable, we are going to see some particularly that this energy pretty soon is going to start coming in and really going to ask us to do the work. All right, 1 o'clock, the inner work is going to be with the sun. The sun, it is pretty much beginning to trining the dark moon Lilith. This is going to be the fire. Imagine you getting the fire of creating yourself and you understand things within the shadow from within. This is the self-reflections after the new moon. Okay? And now you're looking into the shadow. What did I hide from myself? Why am I hiding my abilities, capabilities from others? I also hiding them from who? From me. What is that is? Self-sabotage. So I have to create myself a little bit different. Not to be in this constant attention seeking. I have to rise up. And this is where you're going to find out that you're beginning to what? Combine all these energies, create this awareness of the karma, and with this, you're beginning to what? Build the new will. Okay? Amen. Checking my roadmap of life to be a better me, to be a good we. Exactly. Take a look at it for all of you who wants to know what that map is. The primary in a personal reading. That is the ascendant. Ascendant is where the soul is coming from. That energy of the ascendant, when the sun is rising, the soul comes in to descend. So imagine that your soul, it is a spaceship that comes in and it's planning to land on Earth. So the importance of ascendant is this is where you're coming from. But where are you going to be descending is the questions. Where are you going to be settled? And this is why ascendant, it is between the 12th and the first house. That is the point of the rebirth, right? You're coming from the spiritual to the material world, and you're descending where it's how you're going to make yourself, and also what are you going to do with others, because in this planet, you're not living by yourself. Okay? So this is the point you have to take a look from within yourself. Well, the other point is the inner work. And there, we're not going to talk about that because that is totally different to this. But about this, I think we got it. All right. With that being said, 2 o'clock, Ascendant is going to be at Scorpio, is going to be in conjunct Saturn as the moon is in conjunct Saturn. Now, the question is what do you have on 14 degrees of Libra? Well, I can feel these energies because my sun is at 13 degrees of Libra. And this is where you have to learn to find the balance. The balance of this not doing things, but also do the work of revaluations. Because guess what? The planets, they are retrogrades. We are in the pretty much in the beginning of this retrograde season. It started with Pluto, we went to Saturn, Neptune, got a Mercury retrograde, right? So we have all those retrogrades, and right now they're all asking us about these revaluations. So we can be able to get better the next time when they go direct. Okay? All right, so the ascendant that it's going to be at Scorpio is going to actually bring that deep investigations into the karmic ruler. To remember the things you buried into your conscious, that you did something, but you haven't resolved it yet. Do you have a secret desires that cannot be coming out, right? So all these energies is going to be start popping out, depends of what is, what did you do. All right, 3 o'clock, the inner work is going to be at Virgo. That is going to be a squaring the shadow, because nobody likes the shadow, right? Nobody wants the dirty laundry to comes out. Particularly people who are public servants, when the dirty laundry comes out, there you go. Everything goes out the window, right? But when you look within yourself, the shadow is going to be what? Challenge. Not a problem. It's a challenge. Okay? And with that challenges that it's coming in there, we're going to be start seeing it, that these challenges from the shadow is going to be about collecting informations. Okay? Because the moon is going to be seeking into the shadow deeply. Because of what? The will order it. The will is like, I know you're good inside of you, but you're hiding it. You know, like what? Yeah, I know. I can see the good in you. Right? You ever watch Star Wars? When Luke asked Darth Vader, his father, there is some still good in you. I can sense it. Right? That's how you're going to sense these things. That is still good in you. Still things you can do. All right, 4 o'clock. The inner work is going to be with Venus, love, values. Beautiful. The energy is beautiful despite the challenges. Okay? Despite of everything, the love continue to grow. The values beginnings to grow. And you're like, man, I went through so much crap, stuff, and so on. And I keep on going. What is this force? It's the self-love. And that self-love is passing into relationships. Okay? And you're going to see it. Particularly if you have anything into the air signs. Okay? We're talking about Libra. We're talking about Aquarius and Gemini. Because right now you're going to feel these energies. The senses is going to come out. Because everything is in the air. Right? You're going to feel these values. All right, 5 o'clock. The inner work is still going to be at Libra. Very beautiful sextiles with the sun. Very beautiful sextile with the ascendant and the shadow. You're finally getting that, yes, you're good. Deeply down there, you're good. But you also can be good with others. And since the moon is still over at Virgo and the ascendant is at Sag, here is the duality. Okay? You can give all the information. You can put everything, all the logic. And all of a sudden, without deep investigations, right, with the logic, Virgo's going to point out and is going to say, what about that? Little things that you hide in there. What about that door that you don't want to open? What about this? Right? But imagine you don't tell others, you tell this to your own self. Why you do not want to open this door, right? Within you. All right, well, 6 o'clock, the inner work is going to be at Scorpio, squaring Jupiter and Mercury. You talking about growth, you want to get in growth, you want to get and build yourself, but oof, you're weak. No, you're not weak. No. You just want to reevaluate right now everything. See, in this process of reevaluations that it comes in, right now, you building the proper growth. Just because you're evaluating, don't think you did not grow. You actually take the weeds out of your own garden, and you're the gardener. That's what you do. Okay? And by removing the weeds, you're going to help the garden to grow. All right, 7 o'clock, the inner work is going to be at Scorpio, squaring the vertex and squaring the knots. Oof. Again, that door, vertex, the key maker. The key maker is with the past. The key maker opened the door of the past, is always open. What did you see there? Deep secrets, deep stuff, deep feelings, or buried, powerful inner self? That's a big question that is gonna come in. 8 o'clock, the inner work is going to be at Sag. Be mindful what you're doing with others, particularly with the sudden changes of others. Okay? People can turn it on and turn it off. People can switch on and off. Right? So the question is how do you see yourself? Because you can meet two people. One of them can be like whining, moaning, and complaining about you. And you can see another person is going to be like, it's the greatest person I met. Right? Because they are seeing it of their point of experience of life. It's not judgment. They have that judgment based on their experience of life. And that's what they are based out of it. It's simply one person have one experience, another person have different experience. Guess what? That doesn't terminate who are you. Okay? But you have to determine who you are. Right? You have to determine who you are. And with that energy, the ascendant is going to be pointing out, is going to be in Aquarius, says, do you know your future self? How would you build your future self? Imagine that someone's going to give you that opportunity to build a brand new life in a brand new planet. What would you do differently? What can you change? Hi, Julian. Glad to see you here. Okay. Mitchell, how to change life? Change yourself. And after you change yourself, the life's going to start change according to how you change yourself. Good question. Good questions. And the changes there have to be coming in with you, but you have to take a look at it. Where is your abilities to change? What is the connections between Mars and Uranus in your personal chart? And that it's going to need some personal reading. All right, 9 o'clock, the inner work is going to be at Sag with the shadow. Right now, the moon, it's there. The moon, it's already dropping this in conjunct, and you're like taking a breath. Okay, taking a breath. It's like, okay, these revaluations of karma and those heavy stuff in there was heavy and so on. And right now I feel like, oh my God, that was too heavy. I'm suggesting you, this is about 9 o'clock, go and take a cold shower. Let the energy wash out all the old stuff out of you. If you have to, do a meditation shower. For those of you who doesn't know what this is, you meditate under the water and you put the energy of the water to wash what has to be letting it go out of you. Okay. All right. Mitchell, change is difficult, failed many times. You have to look why you failed. Every failure is a learning. People who develop WD-40, they are failed 39 times. And the 40th time, they succeed to create a perfect formula for one of the best home used, professionally used lubricant. So don't give up on yourself. You can maybe fail 10 times. Get up 11. Okay? But if you need some help, can help you, all you have to do is message me and we can have. I have a 15 minutes overview that I do for people. Okay? All you have to do, I need your data so I can make your chart and we can talk for 15 minutes on video conference. You guys know about this. I hope you do. Okay? That this is available for you. If you need a personal full reading, that is another question. Still, you have to send an email. Okay? All right. 10 o'clock, the inner work is going to be with the true Lilith that it's already at where? Capricorn. What do you do? And guess who is there? There is going to be in conjunction finger of God that it's created between Mercury, Jupiter, and Uranus. Sudden changes revaluations. After revaluations, you make changes, sudden changes within you, right? And then you apply them in a practice. And they're going to bring what? The growth of the self-character. This is going to be the confirmations for the true change. Okay? This is going to be. So if you take a look, it depends on your evaluations of failure. What failed, make it work. And then prove it that it works. And then by proving it that it works, your belief system already knows that it works. Okay? Here, some little tips. Ascendant is going to be with Saturn, reminding you on the moon about today. Don't forget about the karma. Are you going to be doing your karma? Are you going to receive stamp because you finished what you wanted? Or are you going to start living a life as an awakened soul that understands the consequences of actions? Now, it's going to be hitting some people. Hi, 11 o'clock. The inner work is going to be still at Capricorn. That is going to be in conjunct the Sun. And here is that receiving energies of the work. Are you happy? Are you successful? Is your belief system, is your will, if you want to say, did the work? How are you going to feel in there? And with that energy, the ascendant that's going to be a Taurus is going to be, hey, these things is going to happen into the material world. Ascendant is in Taurus, the moon is in Virgo, the inner work is at Capricorn. Is anyone here about the energy that you have to bring the heaven on earth? The grand trine into the earth signs and connecting with in conjunction through it from the air signs is in a way that energy. Okay? So pay attention. What do you have in a Virgo, Aquarius energies? Okay? Some of you is going to be making the dots and going to look at your charts and it's like, man, dear, you're just right in the dot. All right, guys, so that's all I have for you. Hopefully this report helps you in your life. And of course, for those of you who are here regularly, I'm going to be giving you 7 o'clock in the morning. How are we going to wake up, right? Interesting how you're going to wake up. Well, we're going to wake up with the ascendant that's going to be into a yacht from Neptune and Pluto together again with vortex. Okay? But the moon is going to be trining the inner work in Taurus. You're like, I'm determining to develop myself in a proper way so I can perform in this material world. This is where you learn that, okay, you do this, you study, you get a diploma, you get in a good job, you're going to make in a good money. And then it's like, oh shoot, okay, I can do all this, right? We're talking about Virgo, Taurus energies, right? And all of a sudden it's like, what about feelings? What about love? What about expressions with everything I learned with others? Okay? And that we're going to be looking at tomorrow. All right, guys? Great tips, confirmation from my subconscious mind. Yes, the subconscious patterns are very good. One of the subconscious and the consciousness connecting, you are expanding. And by looking it into the subconscious, finding the patterns, and you figure them out, you basically expand. Jolene, yes, right on the dot. Thank you for this daily report. You're welcome, Jolene. And you're welcome, everybody. And if those reports helps you, please come back tomorrow for another Astro Gravitational report. Much love to all of us, and I'll see you tomorrow.